Okay. Do you want to do the David Silverman thing?
Sure. Which one's that?
Yeah, let's do that.
There we go.
Yeah, so David Silverman was recently on Skeptic Fence. I have this clipped out of the show, and I have another one that we might play another time. This is them debating the term anti-theist, or if anti-theism is a good thing or not. It's kind of interesting.
Okay.
Let us take a look.
Last question. I think Anthony would like to interject on this question.
I'm covering up
I'm going to ask you a simple yes or no, and then we'll get into the discourse on this issue.
Hey, we have the same mic. Hi, Joe. That's funny.
There's one.
Joe. You know, I've never seen you and Joe in the same room. I'm just saying.
I'm admitting nothing.
One little problem I had with your book, and it's not really that much of a problem. Everything else.
Sorry, bad connection. Can't hear you. Sorry, bye.
To be fair, that's a good joke and a fair reaction from the author.
Yes. I like David Silverman. He's cool.
Do not want.
Just
Fighting God, it's on Amazon. Bye.
No, I will totally promote this fucking book. Big time, trust me, there's no doubt. Just a simple yes or no. Correct me if I'm wrong here, and I'm sure I was dozing off at this time when I heard this. But in your book, you do mention that you no longer like using the term anti-theist. Yes or no?
Right.
You don't like using it anymore, right?
That's correct. I do not use the term anti-theist.
Okay, now I do, of course. I use it, not often, but I do use it, and feel all atheists should use the term anti-theist in my submission, but especially in debate, of course. But who else better to hear about religion than from an atheist or an anti-theist?
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the premise of this. Basically, the argument that we're going to be getting from David Silverman is he feels that the term is divisive, and he would rather unite. And he also shows opposition to terms like humanist or skeptic, and he thinks that people should just unite under the label atheist, which I could see to a certain extent. But I think David Silverman takes it a step too far in that regard because he has this idea of I oppose ideas, I don't oppose people. Not really, and I there's kind of this disconnect there that ideas are one thing, but these people actually believe these ideas and then act on them.
Yeah, I even understand the sentiment there. I do understand the sentiment. However, the ideas do not exist in a non-corporeal form. The ideas exist within the heads of people that have them.
Absolutely.
Then, of course, my submission is that you're an anti-theist, I should say. Let me clear that up. A person that has adopted it as a label who regard theism as dangerous or destructive. Your thoughts on this? This.
Did you read what I wrote about it though in Fighting God?
No, but you want to talk about it here because I think.
Okay, so
there's that's
another point to address because. Within this interview and within David Silverman's writings and his appearances on television, he has said, "I am against religion." He's not, extremely progressive on this point. He is, by all means, he should identify, at least partially, as an anti-theist because he does share those ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Points about calling yourself an anti-theist.
Okay.
The first thing is that you have to explain it, and it's not clear, and people don't know what it is, and everybody knows what an atheist is. And so when you're using the term anti-theist, you could be a theistic anti-theist, okay? You could be a dogmatic anti-theist. You could be...
I don't see that, David.
Okay, so
how can you be a theistic anti-theist?
No, he just walked into a wall. What you're talking about is religious warfare when you talk about a religious or theistic anti-theist. Then he's not an anti-theist. He's a theist that believes the other people's gods aren't real and should be...
Yeah, that would be like a Christian who's anti-Islamic. But they wouldn't be anti-theistic because they are theistic.
That's just a poor use of the word, man. I thought you were an author. Come on, that's embarrassing.
I also disagree with this idea that everyone already knows what an atheist is. Like, if you've spent any time debating anyone who's not an atheist on the subject, there is such a vast amount of ignorance. Like, you're saying there's no possibility at all. You know for sure there's no... Like, no. people. I'm sorry, if we're talking about like religious people in America, by and large, do not understand the first thing about atheism.
No, of course not. Why would they?
And I think honestly, anti-theist is more self-explanatory.
Well, it's just as descriptive. They're both the same root. I mean, you're talking about an atheist as someone who does not believe in God, and an anti-theist is someone that believes that religion in its current and in any form probably does more harm to a society than good.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I don't even... Like, I know some people on Twitter have it on their bio, like, anti-theist. Like, I don't even have that. I just have atheist. No. I don't go around calling myself an anti-theist, but I don't have a problem with people who do, and I certainly express a lot of anti-theistic sentiments very vocally. So I fail to see a problem with it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the excuses that David Silverman has thrown up so far, and the ones that he will, are just really limp-dicked. Like, they aren't strong enough excuses to deter anyone from using this term.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of things, and the word that best describes, the word that best unifies us is atheist. And we as atheists need to unify. We do not need more division. We do not need to say, I'm an anti-theistic, skeptical humanist. No, you're a fucking atheist, okay? We're all fucking atheists, and we need to unify behind that word so that we work bigger, that we have more power.
I agree to a certain extent, but it sounds... it might just be me, but it's starting to sound a little dogmatic.
No, my issue is with any of these movements is you're trying to turn it into a movement. It is not a movement. It is a standpoint. It is a worldview. That is it.
Yeah, like that's it's atheism plus all over again.
It's the other atheism plus. It's atheism. If atheism plus was, let's say, something akin to a mystical movement occurring in atheism, this is the equivalent of a fundamentalist return.
It's trying to, let's have a lowest common denominator, gather as many people as we can under that one banner because we need strength in numbers. And look, I agree, David, that having more people identify as atheists does help us politically, especially in America. I can see what you're getting at, but at the same time, these people who are coming together, that is all they have in common, pretty much. Like, There are people who are fans of this show who are right-wing, who support Donald Trump, and that's fine. They are also atheists. So that person and myself, we only have one thing in common.
Yeah, exactly. And the other issue is, and it's actually something I think Olaf Berg has pointed out in the chat, I was actually about to say it, is they're doing what the Christian right did in the 1970s and 80s. He's trying to formulate a voting bloc.
Yes.
And we do not need that kind of politicization. That does not help us. That just makes us into yet another problem. We become the South Park joke. We're the fucking otters now. Is that what you want?
Yeah, I mean, the dangers when it comes to that kind of voting bloc who's just connected by something truly superfluous is at what lengths will they go to pander to that voting group?
Exactly.
They've gone far, and they still are going far to pander to the Christian right in America. How far do you think they would go for atheists? I don't even know if it could realistically be done because it's not really much of a shared
even
viewpoint.
If it can be done, I don't want it done. I don't want to be involved in that formation. You know what I mean?
Because the thing that the atheists have in common is so just whatever. It's just a disbelief in deities. People would be shoved out of that group so fast. They would find other things to latch onto, like atheism plus. It would be like people like, I don't know, Hemant Mehta and his crowd would really take control of it because it'd be an answer to the religious right.
Exactly.
And you would have to follow these strict standards to be a part of the atheist voting bloc. And I think a lot of right-wing atheists or libertarian atheists or whatever would get the boot pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. And you do know that there are atheists out there that don't hold the same standards as you, so then we're going to end up doing a whole grouping that the same thing has been done. We're going to have purges for all intents and purposes. It's absurd. I won't go down that path.
Burn the blasphemers.
Yeah. All right, well, I think we've had enough.
Yeah.